Yes, everybody, Russ on the West Ham Network. Hope you're safe and well. Happy Monday. Don't the weekends go quick nowadays? Nights are drawing in, but hopefully a bit more, bit decent weather. Maybe at Hornchurch for the next week or so. The last rumblings of summer, but it is Hammers Headlines in association with the KUMB.com boys. Lunchtime today, we did our player ratings for the magnificent point away to Fulham. Do you agree with my star ratings? Let me know in the comments below. In terms of what we're going to cover today, lots of different things. We're going to cover a bit of transfer news, a lot of the stuff about loan. We've got a lot of loan players out. So because the under-21s didn't play as well, we're sort of combining the Academy show and Hammers Headlines together today. Very much like 8 out of 10 Cats does Countdown. We're going for that sort of vibe. So let's start with a bit of transfer news, shall we? And let's talk about this gentleman. I'm sure you know who he is, but apparently over the weekend we've been linked with the Rotherham United centre half Harrison Duncan. Us and Man City are apparently among the Premier League clubs closely monitoring the 16-year-old who has been dubbed the next John Stones. Rotherham currently compete in League One and they're 17th with just 6 points after 6 games on the docket. But it is the Academy star, Harrison Duncan, who is catching headlines with the club braced for offers for the under-18 star, who's apparently been producing some really outstanding performances in the under-18s. As I said, he's dubbed the new John Stones. Is currently training under current boss, Rotherham first team boss Steve Evans with the first team, and could be in line to make his senior debut sooner rather than later. He's 6'3" already, 16-year-old, signed a scholarship at the New York Stadium with non-league club Doncaster City, but he is under the books at Rotherham United as well. I mean, I think it's great. You know, I love the fact that we're linked with the new players. We've spoken about it before in terms of the pathway, the next lots, and we've been linked with likes of Ibrahim Mazza and people like that. And so, you know, it just shows that we are linked and keeping an eye on the young talent across not just the UK, but across the world as well. And the being linked with the likes of us and Man City is must be a good thing to have for the young lad. So we'll keep an eye on him and see what happens further on his career. Now let's talk about loans. We've got a lot of players on loan. I can't remember how many is it? 4? I think it's about 10 players we've got out on loan. So what we do, we always keep an eye on them and let you know how they're getting on. JWP, he started and played the full 90 minutes for Nottingham Forest as they recorded a historic win over Liverpool at Anfield. The first time they've beaten Anfield since 1969. Fair play. Maxwell Cornet got some minutes. The lesser spotted Maxwell Cornet. He was a 64th minute substitute in Southampton's 3-0 home defeat to Man United. Naif Aged started and played the first 75 minutes in his side's 2-0 home defeat to Real Madrid. Real Sociedad managed to keep Real Madrid from out of bay rather in terms of goal scoring until about the 55th minute when there's a penalty. Actually, both goals were penalties anyway. One scored by Vinny Jr., the other scored by Kylian Mbappe. And after the second penalty, Aged was then substituted. Kurt Zouma, he played the full 90 minutes for SPL side Al Oraba as they drew 3-3 away to Al Khoroud. Good game. 6-goal thriller. Elsewhere in the academy, George Earthy, he was a big doubt for Bristol City's away game at Blackburn at the weekend following an injury he sustained just before the international break. And that was the case. He wasn't fit enough to feature in the matchday squad. However, Callum Marshall had a much better time. He actually claimed an assist in his side's 4-0 away romp at Bolton. He provided a superb cross, it was said, on the 44th minute for Haruma to head in the first goal for Huddersfield. Callum ended up playing the first 67 minutes before being substituted, but a very good performance from young Callum. Elsewhere, Patrick Kelly wasn't involved. Doncaster's game was moved from the Saturday to actually last Thursday, and he was still in international duty, so he didn't play. I was thinking about George. George Earth, he might be available. They're playing on Tuesday night against Oxford United at home, so he might get minutes there. Michael Forbes wasn't involved in the matchday squad as well. He was supposedly in contention and was mentioned in the press conference before their 4-0 home defeat to Wickham Athletic, but wasn't involved. So maybe a bit of tiredness back from the international duties potentially. Same with Levi Lang. He wasn't involved at all in the matchday squad. As Cheltenham Town lost 2-1 away to Salford. Salford side, which included former Hammer Dan Chesters in the starting lineup for Salford. Elsewhere, Heggie is on loan at Motherwell, very much their backup first choice goalkeeper. He was an unused substitute for the SPL side as they lost 2-1 away to Aberdeen. The guy got a good 90 minutes under his belt was old Mason Terry. He played the full 90 minutes for AFC Hornchurch as they beat Spencer's #United 2-1 at home in the FA Cup second qualifying round. So a mixed bag again for all of our, particularly academy ones. A lot of the internationals always seem to pull up slightly strange team selections the week after. We'll see what happens next week, in terms of the first week back, but hopefully George will get some minutes in the next few weeks as well, returning from his injury. No game for the under-21s this week. They play on Tuesday in the league. Was it SLJ John Paints Bristol City Motors Trophy? They play on Tuesday. But the under-18s claimed a draw against the Foxes, against Leicester City away on Saturday, 1-1. They had to settle for a point. A very youthful under-18 side battled a 1-1 draw against the early under-18 Premier League pace setters in terms of Leicester City. A very tightly contesting counter at Leicester City's training ground. Again, a very, very youthful side. You've seen a lot of the players who have had to go and play, who have been sent out alone for the 21s, they've been replaced by the 18s going up, the likes of Josh Ajala and people like that. Looking at the bench and looking at who was playing, you've got the likes of Edris Golombekis. He's been on an international duty for England under 18s. He came back in. You've got the likes of David Chigueda, who's the guy we got from Man City. He made his, I don't think it's his debut, but he played well. It's a tough one for the under 18s this year, I think. There's definitely a transitional period because a lot of the better players in the 18s have moved up to the 21 squad. The likes of Josh Ajala, the likes of Ezra Mayes as well. These guys have moved up and filled the gaps that have been left by the likes of Callum Marshall, Levi Lang, Patrick Kelly moving into the loan system. So, look, shout out to Mr. Edris Golombekis, who was probably maybe not man of the match, but one of the top contenders. Keep an eye on that boy. I tell you what, he's going to be something. I tell you, Edris is going to be something. I tell you, I've seen it from you can get a feeling of these types of players, and he's a baller. That's what the kids say. He's a baller. And that's it, my friends. As I said, keep an eye on the channel. Keep an eye also on these@mamabrand.com, Bosch, for latest news, reviews, and opiniones. I'll be back. We're back tomorrow with all your latest news, reviews, opinions, any breaking news. Maybe find out a bit more what's happening with Emerson. Obviously took a knock, didn't he, against Fulham. How severe is that? We don't quite know yet. I'm sure that'll be some breaking news that will be coming out in the next day or so. We sort of need him, I'll be honest. And until next time, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble. Whilst I also have you, don't forget our friends, Alloy Collectors. There they are. They've just released their 1965 metal shirt. There's loads more retro ones to come out as well as this season's kit. But check out their website. It's in the description below. And West Ham Network viewers get 15% at checkout off with the code WHN15 at checkout. And they're very good things. Anyway, take care. Stay safe. Stay warm. Stay humble. Keep the faith. Come in your irons. Irons.